All right, welcome back to yet again another episode here of Health is Wealth podcast, and I'm so excited to have you guys back here. And I hope, if anything, you're taking something from this, right? Maybe if any of these messages that I have, may help resonate something with you. Maybe help influence you, motivate you, inspire you, just help you in any sort of way. A lot of what I want to share and continue to share on this is, my own journey with, my own fitness journey and, this idea again of just how I really believe health is the foundation of just wealth in life, and really want to share some of my experiences, that I'm going through, and how, just really focusing in on my health is helping me, better the quality of other areas in my life. But then with that, hopefully offer, a few words of wisdom or thoughts, or just things that are going through my head, with things that maybe can help again, push the journey further as I am working on mine, and hopefully again may help, you on yours as well. And so, what I wanted to get in with this episode on is non-negotiables, and how I've started to incorporate that a lot lately in my everyday routines, and how I believe that's really helping, I guess, shape and build, this mindset and habit, right? That's allowing me to prove to myself that I can do what I say. And so a few weeks ago, I began with doing just push-ups every day, right? Now, at some point, I'll show you guys a difference of my push-up form now versus about a year ago. And I believe it's come a long way. But recently here, in the last few weeks, I decided, I'm going to start setting a non-negotiable in my life. And so I started doing just push-ups every day. And I've been doing 50 push-ups consecutively every day for the last few weeks. And I haven't missed a day. Now, the 50 push-ups for me, I probably can get done within a couple of minutes, probably 3 to 4 sets. Depends on my energy or strength for the day. I can usually knock out per set, 15 to 20. It just depends, again, on my strength and just how many I can knock out. But generally, that's where I'm at. And so that's been a non-negotiable that I have set for myself in the last few weeks. And so why am I doing that? Why did I start that? Why do I have this non-negotiable that I haven't missed yet? And I think one of the biggest things is because of this. I think for the most part, right, we tend to not have a lot of wins when it comes to following through on our words, following through on saying we're going to do something and then we don't. And what I think has happened over time with us not doing that, it creates that self-doubt, and there's no self-confidence that we are someone of our words, because how many times have we said we were going to work out and then we didn't, or we were going to start eating healthy and we didn't, or we were going to do that thing, start that workout program on Monday and then we didn't, right? And so collectively over times, it begins to build this, this doubt in our head that we can't be the person who says they do what they say, because we just don't follow through on that. And so what I've been wanting to try to achieve with this non-negotiable is having and creating that ability to say that no matter what, I am going to do this thing every day, whether I'm tired, whether it's early, whether it's late, whatever it may be. And that's what a non-negotiable is. Without a doubt, it's going to happen. No excuse. And so starting that, and it might seem very small, right? But starting that, the more days in a row I've been able to do that, the more it's allowed me to reframe and start really reconstructing my brain, with, okay, I've been doing this every day, regardless of how busy I've been, regardless of how tired I've been, regardless if I didn't feel like doing it, regardless of whatever it was. If I was sore because I was running a couple of days in a row, I've absolutely made it happen. And so it's allowed me to build this, okay, no matter what's happening in the day, this one thing for sure is getting done 100%. And it helps create this, instead of trying to find an excuse or a way out of it, you begin to find yourself in this, okay, how am I going to get it done, right? Like, even if the day's already done, what am I going to do to actually make sure I follow through on that? And just what it's really helped me out with in the last couple of weeks is, okay, I haven't missed a day yet. So I'm proving to myself that if I say it's going to get done, it's going to get done no matter what. It is a non-negotiable. And it's done a lot for me with that mentality, thinking that way, because I've had a couple of days where I'm like, I've worked hard, like I really don't want to do that, Or I've had some days where, I was running around, got home from work, maybe said I was going to go rest for a couple of minutes or whatever it was, ended up maybe falling asleep for a couple of hours. Then I woke up at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and I was left with two choices. Go back to bed and just say, hey, I've done it for the last 2 weeks. One day's not going to hurt. Or I could be like, no, I set a non-negotiable, so it's going to happen no matter what. And that's what I've chosen to do, is say I set this non-negotiable, which means I will not allow myself to get out of it, which means I am going to do it. It's not going to take hours. It's going to take a few minutes. But it's the principle of making sure it's getting done because I set it as a non-negotiable. And so it's really important. I think it's just one of those things that we should find a way to add them into our lives, because it begins to boost your confidence. It begins to reframe your mindset, and it forces you to figure out a way to make it happen versus getting out of it. And I think, again, that's the problem, right? In our lives sometimes is we don't have these non-negotiables. So it's like, our days go about and things happen and we get distracted and we don't do this that day and we say we're going to do that tomorrow and then it doesn't happen. And we just don't have any boundaries or things that we set to say, I'm going to allow this or I'm not going to allow this or whatever it may be. And I believe just not having non-negotiables, again, we just don't have a system or structure set up to make sure certain things get done, the things that matter the most to us, right? When it comes to like our health and stuff like that. And so I just really found, even with something that small, has just really drastically made me think over the last few weeks that, okay, if I could set that one thing as a non-negotiable and I've been able to do it every single day, what other non-negotiable things can I, add to that? And how much more can it really help then improve my habits, help improve my mindset with building trust within myself as in the person who is going to follow through on their words, And like I said, even something that small. So it's really something that I don't think, if you have the non-negotiables in your life, find something small right now to start, whatever it may be, whatever you can think of, whatever it is that's going to help benefit you, an area of your life, start with just something small and saying, okay, this is one thing that's attainable, that's within, what I can do, and I'm going to set it as a non-negotiable and just start with that one thing, because that's where I started, was with those push-ups. And I was just like, you know what? I need to set this non-negotiable, because I hear people, who are really, succeeding in their lives, and it seems like they've got so much structure, and it really looks like certain things that they have in their life, and certain principles. There are certain things that no matter how crazy life is going, they have certain non-negotiables. And I think what it really comes down to and what it helps out with is because we can't control a lot of what's going on in life, externally, because things just happen in the world. But what I found is when you set a non-negotiable and you start sticking to it, that's one thing. No matter what you've got going on in your day, you can control 110%. It's up to you to make that choice to do that thing. And when you have some sense of control in your life, in your day, you might have these other things going on that you can't control, but at least having that thing gives you a sense that you have some control in your own life, within your own actions. And so again, it does a lot to make you just not feel like everything's just spinning out of control. But again, one thing it's really helped me out with here is now I've added another non-negotiable to that list. So it started out with the push-ups, which I'm doing again 50 a day. But then since then, I added, okay, I am taking my supplements, that are going to help my journey, my process, and my progress, to that non-negotiable list. No matter what, I'm taking my supplements every day, which I have been, I've mentioned a few of the things that I'm currently taking right now. I do supplement with, protein powder to make sure I'm getting enough, protein in the day. I take creatine. I take a superfoods from NewTek to make sure that I am getting enough micronutrients. If I'm not, able to get enough in serving wise with like fruits and veggies, and then I'm taking like a vitamin D, right? And so that's been another non-negotiable that I've added now to my list. And I've been doing that one for about a week and a half, and haven't missed that yet. So it's just amazing what I think if we can add that into our lives, just how much more control it gives us, with feeling that we have in the day, and more so just what it does to us, mindset, wise of following through, with things that we say we are going to do and doing them. Like it's such a big boost of confidence, of self-trust. And then I think it just continues to add on. The more wins, more times we say we're going to do something and we actually do it, that win continues to boost, again, our self-trust and confidence. And the more times we do that with more things we do that with, then we start to begin to create this identity of, okay, I am someone who does what they say they're going to do. I'm going to follow through on that. And this non-negotiable thing, nothing is going to get in my way, no matter what I'm feeling, no matter what distractions are going on in the day, no matter how crazy the day seems it's getting away from, no matter what it is, that non-negotiable says, this is the thing I can control. This is the thing that's going to better me. And this is the thing that nobody else can take away from me. So non-negotiables, extremely important. And even just a matter of a couple of weeks of doing this, again, just how it's really been able to really reshape my mind frame on things. And I'll continue to push and add more things to that. And so if you don't have any non-negotiables in your life, again, start with something small. Go every day with whatever it is and really just watch what it does to you internally. When you can do it for a couple of weeks and you've now told yourself that it's going to get done no matter what, and you do it. It's just that self-boost is absolutely so much. And I get why it works, and I get how it can help really build a habit, because at first, the first couple of days of me starting that non-negotiable, right? It was like, okay, I got to make sure to do these push-ups. I got to make sure, and I'm thinking, and I have that dialogue going in my head. Okay, can I do it today? Like, do I have too much going on or whatever? But then after a couple of, days of doing that, it just becomes habit. My brain's like, okay, we've been doing this the last few days. This is what we do. So we're doing it. And it's more of less of just, okay, getting it done versus, talking myself out of it, or, trying to find ways, to not do it, or whatever it may be. It just then becomes a habit, and probably just that muscle memory of just doing it consecutively, day in and day out, over a couple weeks. Brain's just like, okay, this is what we do. It's been the same way with my supplements now, right? Been taking that for a couple of days or a couple of weeks now, and it's just not even thinking about it. Okay, whether I take it in the morning, afternoon, at night, it is getting done. And that's to include that new supplement that I've been taking, the Relight Hydration, that I've been using to replace my energy drinks in the morning. And it's been absolutely the same thing with that, where it's just been, taking it every morning, right? And just not even thinking about it now, right? Like, it's just what I do. And so I take it in the morning, and that is that. So non-negotiables, they really work. And I could see just, what it's done in a couple of weeks. And I believe it's the way to help us build, again, that self-trust, that self-confidence in building the person that we are, someone who does what they say they are going to do. So if you don't have any non-negotiables in your life, please start with something today, something small. Give it a couple of weeks, maybe add something else, and just watch how it starts to change just how you're thinking about stuff, right? Because again, it forces you to think differently when you begin to set that. Instead of finding an excuse, you start to find a way to make it happen. And then the more days you win by doing that, the more it just boosts everything about you. And then you really start to believe, hey, you know what? I absolutely can be a person who says they are going to do what they say they're going to do and follow through. And I think it starts with the smaller things, and it's only going to help add up to the bigger things of following through on stuff. And it's just creating that identity, right? So thank you guys all so much for joining me on this podcast for this week. And I hope this one really helps you a lot. It really has helped me over the last couple of weeks with having a non-negotiable and setting, non-negotiables. And I'm going to keep trying to add, a few more to that list and just really see how much more it does help improve, again, with all those things. So I will see you here on the next one.